sunny day.
Yes.
Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street?
No, I
You're
can't.
like, look out, sir. I can't help you with that. It's all right.
Try your map and your.
Google Maps. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to our live stream today, and we're talking about the truth. And more specifically, our card pull today is the maxim: to know where you want to be, you need to know the truth of where you are now.
Yes.
You are here. Speaking of maps, you are here.
Yes.
You gotta know. You ever been to IKEA? Yes, you
Yes.
have.
Yes.
You need that map to know where. Oh gosh, life is a lot like that.
Yes, actually it is. Relationships can be a lot like IKEA too, where you
Ooh.
have to go all the way around the store.
What about the little shortcuts that they got? That's
Nobody advertises those.
no, they're hidden. You gotta like monitor employee movement to identify those shortcuts.
Yes, it's true. So
Yeah,
relationships can be very circuitous like that.
it could be. So, where are we in terms of our relationships? One could say it starts with self. It's all internal. And I got a couple of questions lined up for you. But before we begin, welcome everyone to the live
Hey,
stream.
welcome,
Welcome,
welcome.
welcome, welcome. Yes, we ate today. Well, I didn't. Lalta and Diane
I
did.
am actually still in my nourishing on myself. This is the golden elixir. Would you explain what's in this?
Yeah, so we're drinking. This is world's famous. Well, not really. It's famous in our
Soon to
household.
be.
Uh, Golden elixir. It's pineapple, lemon, ginger, and green apple. So it has this tart, sweet taste to it with this zing from the ginger, and it's yellow for solar plexus, and it's delicious. You know, have you feeling all warm and shiny inside.
Yes.
So before we begin, a couple of announcements, things that are happening. So we are wrapping up the month. We are concluding with the throat chakra. It's been quite a journey in our exploration of seeing how the throat is influenced, for better or for worse. You know, where the necessity to get control over our identity, the engine of the solar plexus that fuels and influences the heart and the coherency and our balance and how that's expressed out the throat. And let's just say that when it comes to my activations, I've been articulating with intentionality.
Right.
And it makes a difference to
Yes.
move into the words, to move into the
Yes.
frequency. And it has been, again, very expansive. And I have found so much benefit from the exploration, even from the perspective of teaching. There's still this deep dive exploration occurring where I learn more about me.
Absolutely.
And so we had a lot of commentary regarding the throat, and maybe not so much because some are willing to open, some are not willing. However, we are moving into the third eye, which is just as important in terms of what's happening in the lower energy centers and all of that moving up into our spiritual antenna and our perception. So I'm looking forward to it. I often call it the penthouse because that's what it seems like to me. Penthouse, and it's usually where the guidance is communicating with me at, and I can see how it requires refinement. And so looking forward to the deep dive.
Yes, it's light body is so expansive. You are all invited to join us in light body. We will be doing the next round in a month or so, and at any point that you can get in and get some of this, all of it is always going to be available should you join, but it is really relevant
Well, certainly.
and expansive.
Well, certainly. So in 2 months, we're going to be starting the light body movement phase 3. So if you've been with us on this journey, tuning in, like, oh, I don't know if I want to jump in. They already in the throat or the solar plexus. we're about to start back from the beginning. So again, it's your opportunity. We're going to make sure we continue to put the broadcasts out so that you all are aware. And again, each phase, I was thinking about how I was like, I didn't remember the activation of the throat being like this, but each phase there are new understandings,
Yes.
especially the assistance with our allies. And just to speak candidly about it, there's a difference between lighting yourself up and stabilizing the light, holding the light, and that's what we've been guided through, and what that looks like, and how that translates into our everyday experience. And it's pretty awesome. I would say, just from my own individual experience of moving through time and space, I can feel and see the observable influence of the light when I'm holding and stabilizing it coherently. Like
Yeah.
how it shows up in traffic, how it shows up with people who I work with, how it shows up in class with students. It's the coherency is what's needed. And our allies have really been like, come on, y'all, get coherent, get congruent, that
It's,
light.
it's the difference between striking a match and the wind blows it out and having a flashlight. It's,
Yeah.
it's the difference. Like, we have to be the battery. We have to be the flint. We have to be what protects the flame from the wind. We need to be that.
So hearing you say that, it's fascinating because it gives this perspective of you are both aspects. We are the one who is igniting the flame. We are also cultivating and sustaining the flame. We're the field. We're all of, as you say, all of that in a bag of chips. We're all the actor, the director, the extras in the movie. All the parts must be played. And so our guidance has really been fortifying us to lock into that understanding. I like the example you said, striking the match, because I feel like almost anybody can strike a match. Anybody can, whoo, but can
And
you
people do
hold
it
it?
all the time. They get excited and they light up the room.
Don't they call that manic depressive? Or like, it's like, ah, and they drop down.
The fact that you can light up, though, is the inspiration. What we are being encouraged to do, and what we encourage everyone to do, is to learn to hold the flame so that you're always lit up, that your dreams are lit up. People
That's
walk in
right.
the bed and be like, "Ooh, you're glowing in the bed at night," like that.
Yeah, don't need no light when you're walking around at night. Okay. So again, every first, second, third, and fourth Sunday, we're together for Light Body Movement, so you can join us. And speaking of the light, uh, the Luminous Method, Soul Translation, is your next class in the month of May.
Yes.
Second, third, and fourth Tuesday, you'll be taking us through that. Would you mind expounding a bit on what's in store for the Soul Translators?
For those who would like to join me on an exploration for 3 weeks in the month of May, we will be exploring the day-to-day, the ins and outs of how to keep yourself a luminous being. What do you eat? What do you think about? What do you wear? What activities in our world stop us from being luminous? What uh, behaviors keep us? What behaviors ignite us? What foods light up our bodies? And how long do they stay in us? And how can our body be lit up if it's full of contamination? And so we're going to be talking about the details of living a luminous lifestyle. And this will be 3 weeks in the month of May, from the second Tuesday, third Tuesday, fourth
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday in the month of May, and hope that you'll join us. This is the first time I'm teaching this particular idea, but we will be talking about foods that I've talked about before. We'll be talking about things that those who I treat who are coming in for healings, they'll be the things that they get. We'll be talking about behaviors that stop us from maintaining light, behaviors that light us up, and what time and how it is that we participate in that. So you are invited. I hope you'll join me for this new class. Is it on the website?
Yes, it is.
Would you tell them about where it is and how to go to it?
I wish I could zoom in the camera. You can find it on the Classes tab at the top of the homepage. Click on Soul Translation. It'll take you straight there.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, there's more details. Prerequisite for this class, because we've had some newer people come in, and they often hear you speaking about different forms of self healing. And I'm like, ooh, you're talking about the advanced classes, not the entry level classes, which all of our advanced classes require the entry level course, Sun Calibration, which is a methodology of speaking with your biology and getting yes and no answers, direct, clear information. And the cool thing about this, what I really like about the luminous method is it's not like a one size fit all. Like some of the concepts, yes, we're touching on different things like various cleanses and sources of pulling in light and other things to abstain from that would diminish the light. But like, how much of this do you need based off of where you are within your journey? And that's the nuance that comes in with the calibration method that I understand you'll be guiding us through, doing a little bit for the students, but also showing them how to do it for themselves, because it will change over time as we implement some of the different modalities and methods of sustaining light. you know I know for a fact, like for me, like I'm drinking more liquids now, I'm getting more sunlight, I spend a significant amount of time outdoors and touching the earth, and it's like a requirement to sustain me. I feel levels of diminishment if I don't have it, in the same way someone would not have sustenance, but this comes by way of calibration.
Yes, and part of having an advanced class is that part of the advancement is that you put down what you think you know. You let go of all the classes you've taken. You let go of what you think you know, what your aunt said, what somebody told you 5 years ago, what a class you took. You let that go because it has taken you as far as you could go. And part of being in the advanced class is you open yourself to learn something that may have more value for you because this is evolution. You did that when that was appropriate, and now it's time for this. And many people have an issue with opening up their hands. They're like, but I got this. I took a class 3 years ago and they made me the top Buddha.
Whatever, whatever that is.
And I'm saying to you that take the advanced class. Our work is inspired and it is supported. And you are encouraged to open your hands, take the calibration class, use the calibration. The classes are recorded and we have a tutor for it. So Lauren of the Sun is the tutor for it. The classes are recorded. You can listen to them as often as you like, over and over again. You can call if you have a question. We can tutor you before the class begins and during and after. So you're encouraged to step into the level of advanced training where you're ready to receive something you don't already have. So we hope that people will like that.
That's right, what she said. So also, we are concluding the month, and Diane in Lincoln Studio One is always live streaming every Friday at 7. So she'll be bringing forth Quantum Chronicles with myself, Lauren of the Sun, and Tiffany of the Sun. And we'll be diving into the concepts of clearing properties, but how this benefits and serves animals. And this is such a unique experience because most people have some level of understanding of how our animals are somewhat of our protectors, but also they absorb things. There's attachments, and it's almost like they take bullets for us, so to say, in some cases. And how quantum light property clearing can assist with bringing relief to the animals, just by way of clearing, but we do specific animal clearings. Lauren's been doing the animal communication and clearings as well. But within the modality of property clearing, we address healing your furry friends because they could use it. There's levels of congestion that builds up that ends up manifesting as levels of uh, varying illnesses or disease or tumors, etc. And we've seen some wild stuff. I don't want to go too deep into it, but I'm talking like complete behavioral changes within animals. I can't front. There's been times where I've had clients say, my dog, she just keeps staring and like there's no one there. She's just barking. That's because
There's something there.
she sees something.
We just had a client come in, but we have clients come in who are pregnant and want to know if the puppy they're considering getting will be a good match for the new baby they're about to have. We have a lot of that kind of thing. The thing that's the best about how the different ways in which you can have an animal clearing is that if you get a property clearing, just leave your animal in the house. We
Yeah.
will clear it. There's no extra for that if you have 5 cats or 2 dogs, whatever it is. But if you're not getting a property clearing and you want to have an animal clearing and an animal communication, we can do that too. We have practitioners who do a variety of different things, all in the Of the Sun way or methods that are very elevated and that include we stay in our lane, we always clear. So we're clearing the space, the animal, the experience, whatever is happening, whatever they're seeing. And this is something that's relevant to people, and we encourage everyone to know that. The fact of animal communication, I am actually a second generation healer. My father was a horse whisperer, which is essentially the same thing. So this is something that's really important and clear, and anybody who deals with animals knows they communicate with you. It is only those who really don't do it that are shocked and surprised, like, he understood what I said. Of course
Yeah.
he understood what you said.
Especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
They've been around humans long enough. But again, we're going to have a good time this Friday, so join us 7 p.m.
You all
Eastern.
are all encouraged to come to Quantum Chronicles with Diane, because this particular experience on YouTube will open up quantum light property clearing to you in a way that whatever you're thinking people do with sage, or whatever you think of burning a candle does, you will see the reality of what a real clearing is, how detailed it is, how dedicated the ones who do it are, and how effective this is, and why the whole planet should be cleaned. You'll want to clean where your children go to school and where you work and everything you do, where your mother is sleeping. Once you see what really happens, you will understand the deep need for this particular technology. So we hope you will join us for that.
Alrighty, and that wraps up our announcements. So before we dive into it, just again, welcome everyone. Today's card pull is truth. To know where you want to be, you need to know the truth of where you are now. And really quick, I just want to give a quick shout out. I see you all in the comments. In Lakesh and Veritas, to everyone who is joining us, who's making yourself known. We welcome you.
Ooh, there's ginger in that.
Got a heavy hand with the ginger. When it comes to spice, you can't trust me.
No.
Don't ask me. My taste buds operate very differently.
Yes, we know it now. I'm
Yes.
clear.
Yeah, I was gonna offer you, Diane, but it's way strong. It's way strong. All right. So now we're back after our brief message from Golden Elixir, right?
Yeah.
Purchase it at the local Harvestman Cafe. All right. So again, to know where you want to be, you need to know the truth of where you are now. And the book further states, where you are is vibrational, not social, not geographical or economic. Your vibration is the truth of your experience. So it's wild because it's like I'm seeing us or humans within their experience, and I see the field around us, and like everything that we're experiencing is just based upon the signal that's
Yes.
broadcasting, nothing more, nothing less. And so where do you want to take us with this, Lotte? Because well, first off, how can we best look at this? Should we look at this from more of like a measurement of emotion or thought, or where should we begin with this?
And what's on my mind to discuss is really marriage, because that's a relationship we're all familiar with. Most of us we have been issued from a marriage or something like it. And many of us think it's a failure if we don't get it. And many of us are in great pursuit of it. And I'd like to talk a little bit about what that technology is. I was just sharing, I just found out that marriage is patented in the US Patent Office. There's a patent for marriage that shows you the triangle of power. At the top of the triangle is the government, and then there's the masculine, and then there's the feminine, and at the very bottom there's some mention of God. And I want to talk about how we feel about it, because in truth, what does this mean? This technology that has been developed, that's in the patent office and that is in effect for all of our lives and all of the lives of everyone we've ever known. And in all of our histories and in all the histories we read all over the world, marriage is the third dimensional experience that everyone feels compelled to have. And the truth of that is that is it possible for us to see another experience that people could have that's not that? Do we have the breadth of expression to be able to know that just because it has always been, it doesn't necessarily have to always be? Not that there's anything wrong with those who choose to do it, but do we want to do that? Is that a goal? Should we be locked in under government so that we can't get married without the government, we can't get out of the marriage without the government? That's the way the technology works. So what do you think of that?
Well, I'm thinking again about the card. The truth of where we are now in relation to where we want to be, and when I say we, I'm talking about humanity, the general populace who has this desire. And by the way, just so you all know, this example can be used even outside of the concept of marriage. Any pursuit of a thing that you want, but looking at this lens of marriage is so interesting, because where we are with it right now, like let's say the person who wants the family, wants this and that, where we are with it now, from what you just shared, there's levels of bondage and enslavement with it. You're in bed with the government, and then not just that, but all the overlay that comes with weddings and marriages. And again, this is not any shade or salt on anyone who wants to do it, but how many humans out there, when they're about to get married or they hear about it and it's like, oh man, things gonna change now. There's, this taint around it, and then there's levels of expectations. It's like everything changes. Like, why can't we not just be committed? I mean, I feel like there's a better way to go about it, but the idea of our relationship with the concept of marriage, it appears to be so distorted and rooted in levels of enslavement. And also, we got it from elites doing certain types of things, and we were like, oh, we want what they got.
Well, there's also this idea of how many people grew up in a perfect relationship with their parents, and it's great if your mother and father are still together and they've always been together and there was never any marriages, and no one is saying that there's anything wrong with that. We're just saying it's like anything else. I have clients all over the world. The whole cultures have been built around big weddings and spending thousands of dollars in the celebration, the social celebration that announces your choice to your community. That's excellent.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there should be some embracing and bringing it forth with
So I'm
community too.
not saying, I'm noting the realities. And what I see is that most people who are lukewarm about it feel like, oh, but if we're going to have children, we got to get married. As if then that means that the children who are from parents who aren't married have been somehow, something is wrong with that. Or if they've got a divorce, something's wrong with that. And that's not necessarily the case. 57% of the people who get married divorce. 57%. Not that this is not a social, I'm not discussing a social phenomenon. I'm really speaking about the truth. What is the truth of the relationship between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and does it need the patented technology of marriage?
Well, I don't think so. I think it's also not just think, but it looks like it is presented in the same way as a human. When you are able to procreate, you must do this before you leave the earth. You must have children because you're capable of it. That's what comes with it. You got to get married, picket fence, big house. It's as if there's this type of social engineering and a path that has already been carved out. And so I'm wondering, like, well, not even wondering, because I can see where some people do it merely because it's been something implanted in them where it's not even an original thought.
Yeah, we're really talking about the truth of the experience, and we can point out both sides of it. But the reality is, we live in, or we're outgrowing the third dimension. This is a institution of the third dimension, which is right above the second dimension.
Hell. Well, I mean, we kind of in hell. It's feeling like hell. I'm just saying.
I mean,
Just
so this
saying.
was invented and brought forward from the third dimension, which is right above the second dimension, which is right above where things don't even come together completely. So that should be considered. And that in the reality of the experience of what we have all witnessed with our own eyes in humanity, this particular technology is not supported through truth, justice, and freedom.
Haha. There we
So,
go.
however, uh, even putting that aside, this is really a conversation to help you look into things that are just normally and accepted. Like when you think about, oh, they're not even married, they got those children. What is that? What is that you're doing right there? And what does that have to do with the children or the people or their decisions? I started homeschooling my children 40 years ago, and people talked about me that way. What are you doing taking your children out of school? Now my children are adults and they are different. They are less willing than some because they didn't go through the entire process. They went to first grade. And after I saw first grade, I'm like, okay, no, we're not doing this. But I needed to see it. And I'm not even an advocate for that. I'm saying that was my choice. But people looked at me and condemned me for that because I wasn't doing what everyone else
Yeah,
was
you were
doing.
popping out of the third dimensional status quo of socially engineered. This is the way how we're supposed to live.
And my point is that it doesn't make me better or worse, and it doesn't make someone else. However, it's worthy of looking at. If you are the person who's standing in front of Kellogg's saying you need to make us better cornflakes, then you have missed the point. The point is make your children figure out a way to feed your children from what you understand to be the truth. Who is Kellogg's? Well, Judgment Day, are they gonna bring Kellogg's in and say, why did you mess up the children's brains with those cornflakes and that sugar and that milk and all of that goes along with it? And I'm saying this to say, this is your relationship with commercial industrial food complex. This is your relationship with the educational system. This is your relationship with the government technology that's called marriage.
So it's feeling like, at least where the conversation is now, is a re-examining our relationship in general with all things,
Yes.
and because
The truth
where
in
we are going is
yes.
based off of where we are now.
Yes.
This the signal. We're still Brock. So, and this was the funny thing I was thinking about early in the conversation, where we have been conditioned that things will change if I get married, if I put a ring on it, if he puts a ring on me, right? Whatever side of the coin that you're on, things will change. And it's
Yes.
it's kind of like when people remember that skit from SNL with Adam Sandler, when
Oh yeah.
and so, hey, everybody, it's this hilarious skit where Adam Sandler, he's a travel agent, and he's talking about if you think you're gonna go to Paris and your life sucks and it's gonna change in Paris, it's not. You're gonna take the same sucky life with you to Paris, and it's that same truth.
The
Like
same way you look in your bathing suit in Boston is going to be the same way you look in your bathing suit in Greece.
exactly, exactly. So, we carry ourselves with us everywhere we
We
go. It's always
do.
this vibration. It's not just the locale. And I see like this is why it's so important for us to change in general, and like you say, re-examine our relationship with these different systems and institutions that we've kind of blindly went along with, and how is that working for us?
And that's really the question. How is that working for us? How did it work out to be subjugated to your school board or to the government requiring that you in Wisconsin, that if you want to buy a car and you're a woman, you have to get your husband's approval?
We just heard about that. I just heard about it today.
Yes,
Shout out to
that's a
Diane.
right now, in this moment
It's
law.
like that was like 1920s, 1930s.
Whatever
That's
it
what it felt
is,
like.
it's too long ago, too far away. you know. So these things still exist, but you don't have to. If your goal is truth and sovereignty, you can bypass all that. I've never had to uh, get my husband's approval to do anything I want to do because I would go to another state. I mean, I'm willing to go to wherever it is where you don't subjugate me. I'm willing to do the thing that will keep me from being in bondage. I'm willing to say, let me divorce him so that he don't have to sign this. I'm willing to do that. So this conversation is really about the truth of you and all of the relationships that you're in that you take for granted that are the background of the third dimension. And we are now knocking on the door of the fifth dimension. It's time to let go of that.
Yeah, we can't take this
Especially if you
mess
want to
with
go
us.
to the sixth and the seventh dimension with us. So this is part of what the truth is. Like, calling for the truth means when you start calling for the truth, these things come up. And yes, it may shake up you might have to make breakfast instead of giving somebody cold cereal. You might have to do something different. You might have to figure out what happens if you're
We
not
have to
gonna.
stop being lazy.
It meant for me that I was the kindergarten teacher in the homeschooling circle that I was in for a while, and I had never planned on doing that. That was not my career path.
Well, so this goes back to, again, the card. To know where you want to be, you need to know the truth of where you are now. And some of the relationships that we have, like, for example, with institutions, school system, where we have found ourselves to be hyper dependent to our detriment. And it's like, oh man, what am I going to do if I end this relationship? And so that's a very funky position to be in for souls who are like, I want to be free.
Well, I have lived through it, and I know the answer.
What's the answer? For 200, Lauta.
Find, find like-minded people and assign everybody tasks. The ones who like to cook, let them make the meals and deliver them.
Is
The
that
ones
your
who
final
want to
answer? All right, no, keep going. Excuse me, because you're on the roll.
the ones who want to be instructors and want to be looked up and want the children to and have a high enough uh, moral standard, let them help teach. The ones who want to do art and make projects out of leaves, let them do it.
All right, so I got a question for you. Something's coming to mind that our guidance has been working with us on, where we have been prompted to do these future experiences that you're speaking of connecting with community, like-minded people. Where are we now in relation to that? I'm saying it's something that I find
mean
that is so
individually?
important. Yeah, it's individually. It's important for souls to identify where are we in relation to the thing. Again, to know who we want to be. What is the truth of where we are now? Like,
Absolutely.
with
And
people who may be like-minded with homeschooling, or people, potential partners who may be open for, not your traditional marriages, right?
yeah,
Or
so
whatever it is. People who want to grow food, people who
start
want
at
to, all
start at the
that.
farmers market.
I heard
Start
somebody
at the
said
farmers market.
all the good, like, men and women, if you want to find you a partner, I heard them say it on TikTok. Like, you guys are going to the wrong places. You're not gonna find your partner in the club. You're gonna find them at the farmers market. You're going to find them at the blueberry patch.
Yes. You are looking at all the wrong places.
You're going to find them picking up that bundle of celery. Make eye contact.
If the person who sells you your peach might be the one.
It might be, you know.
So the idea is to find your tribe, find the room that you're supposed to be in, and if the people in the room that if the room that you're in right now, you say, where are you right now? If you're in the room where everybody's getting high, staying up all night, not making it to work, that may not be your room anymore. No shade on them, like they have the right to explore their possibilities, but it may not be your room. And if it's not your room, fine. Keep going down the hall.
Right?
What y'all doing?
Crack the door open. What y'all doing there? Does this look like my people? No, sorry. Excuse me. Keep going down the hall.
See if you can smell the pesto.
Hey.
Follow the basil. Yes, it's like that. And then this way, you are part of the solution that is the new experience, that is the truth. You are in the becoming of the truth of who you are. Many of us have never been shown the truth. So we don't know, and it's okay. If you feel an urge towards it, though, walk in that direction.
I had a conversation with you earlier about food and humanity at different levels, recognizing that what's out there and available is not even food. For example, my mother sent a text on the group family text feed saying, watch out, y'all. Don't buy anything that say lab grown. And I'm like, oh, look at her. Okay. But then again, there was this thought of, okay, does she have awareness of what to get? Like, what are the alternatives? Just in tandem with what you're saying, like, we don't really know what the truth is, or we haven't really been introduced to a truth.
What a glory. Here it is. Your mother has discovered something, and she's trying to protect you and all the ones she loves and knows. Remember, this is an act of love. If it inspires her enough, she'll find out. You did.
Yeah.
You got, your brain cells are the brain cells that came from her, know. And so it's really about if the person is inspired to move forward, or if they're inspired just to know more, that's a benefit. That's a world we didn't live in 10 minutes ago. Good. But I'm only looking for the ones who are looking for me. So, but those who are looking for elevation and truth, let them find it how they find it.
Just that I don't chase, I attract.
I don't chase it, right?
Yeah.
We're not looking for an argument. I'm not looking for an argument. I'm looking for companionship.
Yeah, I think that's so on point. I feel like we have really been out of that window of trying to get people to be on board with an idea. Or
yeah, that was marriage. I don't do that anymore. I did that before.
You left and walked down the hall. You was like, I'm going to excuse myself. Yeah.
Yeah, if you'll excuse me,
Yeah.
I will not be back.
Like, don't wait up for me. Yeah.
Yeah, the idea of finding like-minded people who are interested in the same thing is so enriching. It's very rich that you and I sit here together in agreement.
Yeah.
It's very rich that those who are in the chat and those who are watching us are in agreement. That's what we're looking for. And let's make that better, greater, wider, more for each of us. Life becomes greater. Forget that. Let me convince you and argue with you, and you still don't understand and you still don't believe. Good.
Just hearing it, oh my gosh, it's so exhausting. I can't even. Like, oh gosh. Yo, but Lauta, I used to
take a nap.
Yeah. It's like, damn. But I used to be that wanting to argue somebody down on the bus about, their religion and trying to convert them, right? It's like beat the truth into them. It's so
Don't you have
exhausting
time
now,
to hear about Jesus, your love is Lord and
right? I
Savior?
became the thing that I said I didn't even like. It's crazy how you become the enemy. You live long enough to become the villain.
Knocking on the door.
Yeah, knocking on.
Don't be hiding, I see you.
I just thought about the last time that happened, and I was talking a little loud, and they were still at the door. There was these Jehovah's Witnesses at the door, and I was like, "Lota, I'm not answering the door." Like, and she was like, "Tavares, they're out there." I was like, "I know." I was a little more rambunctious, but nowadays again, no energy for it. But again, that's my point. Like, our energy and our vitality should be used more constructively
Yes.
than over here getting
Let
into
me agree with
mental
you.
fights
Yeah, why
and
don't I
dialogues with
get with
people.
someone I can agree with and we make us more?
Yeah,
How about that? Those of you who are in the chat, how about
that's
that?
right. What's your thoughts on that? Talk to us. Let us know. It's a couple of comments in here. You all are chopping it up. We'll get to these comments in a moment, but yeah, do let us know what you think about this.
So that's the direction of truth. That's the direction truth leads you in. There is no force in source. Source does not have to force you to do anything. You don't have to be forced to cut down the trees. You don't have to be forced to poison your lawn. You don't have to be forced to speak to them before you love somebody and choose to be with them. There's no force in source. The
Mm-mm.
technology that is patented that shows you the force that has to be applied to make sure that that works in that technology is not part of nature.
Look,
When's the last time you saw two squirrels ask somebody before they got together?
I've never witnessed such a thing, nor do I think
I
that
knew
even
that.
exists. I don't even think that
I think
exists.
I'm psychic. I
I
do
think I
that.
think you see laws and principles in nature.
Yeah, so the truth of who we are, let us explore the truth of who we are. Let us remember that we are aspects of creation that were designed in freedom. Let us have a little bit of that. Let's let's examine everything through the true lens of, does this keep me free or does this imprison me?
Yeah, I want to speak a little bit more on the there's no force and source because ever since you gave me that little piece, just hearing it just got me like, that's right. Relax every fiber of your being right now because there ain't no force and source. Just
Right.
let it go. And especially when it comes to relationships, but really with me, like it's been again to the cards. You know where you want to be. You need to know the truth of where you are now. Where are you now? What do you feel right now? Are your muscles clenched up? Are you tight and tense?
Yeah.
Butt cheeks clenched, as I say, while you're washing dishes just because your mind is elsewhere, and the need to like let go, to allow, to release.
Or even to feel someone else trying to force you into something with them. Like, I'm going to make you, first I'm going to try to make you do it if you want. Then I'm going to try to laugh you into it. Then I'm going to try to pay you into it. And then I'm going to try to fake you into it. Or I'm going to try to manipulate you into it. It's like, relax. Go be the truth on your side and see what happens instead of trying to make your lie be my truth. Don't make your lie be my truth.
No, in my mind, I'm over here like you're gonna need the power of 1,000 suns, and even still,
Oh, we're getting poetic.
because I'm like, no, I'm hearing this because that's the thing, being sensitive again. Ever since I've had that, I call it a power mantra, a power affirmation, because I do a lot of conscious breathing in the moment, and anytime that comes up, I let go. But it has made me very astute to when outside forces are trying to let me get on up in that solar plexus and manipulate you and try to get you to stop. Or I just sidestep it some way But the sensitivity is there when you are not trying to force others or yourself.
If you don't watch out, you'll have somebody else's sticky notes all over you.
Look, there should be no sticky notes. There should be no sticky. There should be no notes. Okay. And I trust that you all feel the same way. We
That's
gotta
so
be
funny.
free, for real, for real. Cause it's okay. So, I've been talking to the sun a lot lately, Lota,
Yeah.
and the sun is just awesome. The sun's like, man, you gotta get like me. I'm like, I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. Cause like, okay, there's no force and source. Looking at the sun, everything, and I made a little video clip about this. And every time I go outside, I'm like, that's right. Everything is growing up to the sun, and the sun ain't forcing nobody. It's just being, and I'm like, damn, I gotta be more of that.
I
Gotta be
am
more of that. This is the
so
template.
glad you mentioned that because it is the representation of the divine masculine, putting order, bringing forth authority, putting things in, giving them the power to reproduce. The divine feminine is the original idea. She has the blueprint. The divine masculine comes in and builds the house, shines the light onto Mother Earth, onto the earth, and up comes the truth of what is produced from that. This is the truth of the relationship between the divine masculine and the divine feminine in its purity. But it's
And no marriage contracts, no government is needed to intercede on their
and there
behalf.
will be no divorcing.
They together. They rocking
Because, and I have noticed this over
forevermore.
many years of counseling people that people just don't stay where they cannot get what they need.
Yeah,
They
it's
just
true.
won't stay there. She getting what she
Yeah,
needs.
she get. That's right. Every year, every season.
Yeah, and he got something to work with. He got a blueprint,
That's right.
and she's free to reproduce it with his power and force and direction.
You all hear that?
And we are both of those components. So that it's a sliding scale. So that's the beauty of the truth, of the relationship. So we really got to what is the relationship. The relationship that makes you feel that you are, the way a woman is designed, the structure is freedom. You know, her discipline is devotion. You know, so and the way the masculine is designed is that it's integrity, it's a willingness to relentlessly shine the light on the structure. You can get the hammer, build the house. Don't stop in the middle. It's not a tent. It's not it's not a sleeping bag. It's a house.
Yeah.
And to be able to hold that consistently, it is the proper understanding for us to have that we are not exactly the same, but we are both components of each of those polarities. And that if we were to see ourselves as that, we can honor that aspect in the masculine and honor that aspect in the feminine. She gonna dream because she's the blueprint maker. And you can build, and whether you have a hammer or some light, it's okay. You can support the blueprint.
Yeah, the support and seeing it through.
And she may reproduce children, or she may reproduce books, or ideas, or businesses, or food, or recipes, or it's not required that she produce children. It's not required that the son father only people can father ideas and be support to brilliance as it arises from the feminine.
The more I hear you speak about this, the more I think about how we've been tricked and duped and confined to such a limiting slither of what reality can be.
Such a narrow vision that only favors the masculine.
Yeah.
It doesn't favor the feminine.
In the reality, it don't even favor the masculine.
No, it
At the
actually
deepest
doesn't.
truth, because like the masculine is operating fragmented.
Yes. You're never
it's-
really given the power.
It's a facade.
You're not really given the power to have a light to make the thing grow. You're not really given that. And I should say, it is absconded from you. It is taken from you, the power that you need to shine onto your experience to make your relationship grow, because you are not sovereign. You are not the self-producing light. That's what light body is. You become the self-regenerating, producing light of your world. And she does too. Then you got something. You don't need no technology.
Message. Look, let's go to a quick commercial break.
Okay.
I'll let you all marinate on that really quick. So it looks like Riverside's working back again. We'll go to a quick commercial from our sponsor, Luca. Stick with us for about 50 seconds, and then we're going to go to the comments. It looks like the chat's got a couple of things in there. So we'll see you in a bit.
What does the future of money look like to you, Alex?
The future of money won't be about what we use. It'll be about who we trust. We're heading into a world where money is no longer paper. It's data. Central bank, digital currencies, programmable payments, and surveillance systems will redefine how value moves. But here's the twist. The more digital it gets, the more people will crave something real. That's why gold and silver aren't disappearing. They're becoming the anchor in a world of floating code. Money will evolve technologically, but it will always revolve around trust. And digital systems can't replicate 5,000 years of human belief in tangible value. The future of money? Digital convenience built on physical truth. The code will change, but the collateral won't. Because in every era, old or new, gold stays the final receipt.
Speaking of gold, Lauta, would you show them that golden elixir again? I don't know if you all could hear her, but she was like, it's making my nose run. Put a lot of ginger in there. Excuse me. I'll work on dialing back a bit, especially when I'm making community juice.
I do love it.
Yeah.
However.
It's, you know, when you go to an Indian restaurant, it's like 3 pepper spices, like 3 thumbs worth
Harvest
of
Man, 3 Harvest Man.
Yeah.
Hot
It was like
Harvest
just big chunks. I didn't even like. I was like, ah. All right, so we're back, everyone, and oof, this talk has got me really thinking. I was also thinking about how everything from the base is informing expression, and we were talking about community and how it's such a foundational thing in getting with people, and then you know we're in the sacral, and then we're talking about relationships, and then our identity, the sun, and then the connection with all things, and that green, and to be able to coherently express who and what we are. And
This brings us to the thought of the tenets that we have on the sun. The tenets that we have on the sun are not actually obtainable until there's some understanding of who you are, and where you're going.
yeah,
You know, so that's part of it. But I'd love to hear what people have to say today.
all right. We'll do a quick roll call in the chat just to say what's up to everyone. Inlakesh Veritas to Inlakesh Studio 1, Leon Eddie, Stacy OTS 17, Amariel 13, Russ Goldston, Stephanie Singletary, Serenia MacArthur, I am Elijah Wiz. Peace, joy, abundance, high vibrations, prosperity, love, and light to you all. You know I gotta read Elijah's. Thank you, Elijah. Delilah's in the house. Inlakesh Veritas, Gina. Our first question here is Stacy OTS. She says, been there, not doing it again. Not seeking a governmental marital triangle. Partnership with the divine and other divine counterpart, yes, as it was intended. That's right. 3's a party. 3's a party. That's too much. Gina sends her love. She says, sending much gratitude, truth, and love and light to Laota Tavares and the whole of the Sun universe family. Leon Eddie, she says, wow. I've been considering the concept of marriage in relation to the toxic ideas of what the masculine and feminine look like. It sounds like slavery from both ends. And then she further states, toxic masculine role is workhorse ATM, and toxic feminine is workhorse maid. I have wondered if there is a different way it can be done. Look at here.
Absolutely.
Look at here. Yes, it can. Yes, we can. My name's not Obama, but yes, we can. Yes, we can. We got the blueprint. We got the template. But then also, like many of the things that you've been saying is like, respectfully, the roles aren't fixed.
No, they're
Like this
not.
idea of like women being the workhorse maid or men being workhorse ATM, like that's fluid. We've got masculine and feminine. That I feel like that's part of the issue where things are just locked in and like we raise hell to make sure the other individual stays fixed in the limitation.
Everyone has forgotten the magic. The person who loves to cook is the one with the magic. If it's her,
Look, I don't even eat, and I be cooking. I be
the one
cooking.
who is in tune with the natural power and magic of food is the one I want cooking for
You
me.
talking about me? Excuse me. Keep
So
going.
whether it's the masculine or the feminine, the one who is in tune with that is the one who, you shouldn't eat food from the person who don't want to cook it. You shouldn't spend the money from the person who didn't want to give it to you. So if, it makes sense. We have assigned these tasks because many people lean in that direction who have been taught to do that. But it could be both people taking turns. It could be the same with money. It could be the same with child rearing. It could be whatever we decide we are willing to support. It does not have to be that, you have to use your body in a way that you have not decided you want to use it because the culture dictates it. So the culture in China dictated that they should only have a certain number of children. And because they thought having boys was more favorable, they killed all their girl babies. So now they have a nation full of men with no women. The classrooms have no girls
Yeah,
in
it's
them.
very problematic over
It's
there.
very problematical. Very, same thing in China, most of Asia, India does the same thing.
It's wild how short-sighted that is because now they're singing a new song.
Yes, but the cultural pressure was, well, you don't want a girl.
Yeah.
You only got one choice. You better take a boy.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, and I think it was a one-child law. Like there was a limitation.
So now their men are being influenced by that with each other, and there are no partners for them on the divine polarity spectrum. So we should be careful adhering to what government regulations are.
See, so this is what I meant by men aren't winning.
Yes.
Just because there's patriarchy.
The system was not
It is
designed
not-
for the masculine and feminine to win on this earth plane at this time. It was designed for more of a class system. It was designed for the upper echelons to feed off of what is. And I'm not going to go into that too much, but it's clear.
Dang, 'cause I was over here getting ready, rubbing my hands. I got already like two different analogies. All right.
So I have 3 sons, and I can see that the men are not winning. But I'm a woman, and I have 6 sisters, and I can see the women didn't win.
Yeah.
You know,
But yet we still play the game.
But here we are still having the same dream, thinking the same thought, waiting for the knight in shining armor, hoping there'll be a castle, maybe there'll be a party and there's glass slippers involved, all of that. Maybe that will happen, but maybe not.
Look,
Maybe that was a psyop.
let go of the Disney princess fairy tales.
What about Malibu Barbie?
Drop her off at the thrift store. Matter of fact, throw her in the trash. Nobody else should get Barbie. Shouldn't be handing that down. It's messed up our brains. It's messed up our perception of reality. It's toxic for both parties. Very unrealistic.
We think because our ancestors did something under the pressure of colonialism that we should do something that's similar to that, when all of this is from the pressure of being colonized.
Everybody's colonized.
Yes.
Even the ones who think they winning, you're a slave. And like this is why the Leoneri, she hit it. She's like, it sounds like enslavement.
That's because it is. So save yourself. Refuse it. slavery is a choice. It's true. Kanye was right.
That's right. Kanye was right about a couple of things.
It's like,
He was right.
like there are those who chose not to be slaves.
Yeah.
There's historical data, and I personally have chosen not to be a slave.
See, but that's something that's deeply rooted in
So I know there's a
universal
choice.
law right there.
I know there's a choice. You could go along, but I know there's a choice. And sometimes I think I stayed at the party too long. I think I could have been not a slave decades before I was not a slave. But I hadn't seen enough.
Yeah.
You got to get to enough dissatisfaction.
Yeah, to be like, forget you, Kellogg's. I don't want your damn cereal. Subway, all of you.
All that convenience. I know I'm addicted to convenience. I'm going to take myself off this addiction.
Yeah.
Where we have become, we are a commodity making sure that we use all the commodities.
That's the plot twist. It's so wild. We have been tricked to think that we're nothing, but we're everything. The corporations are nothing without us. They depend on our consumerism.
So you got to get it out.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I got to... Because that's the reality. For me, it feels so good because it has been this recognizing of value in a world where we have been taught to think that we're nothing. But then in the same way, everyone has adopted this type of colonizer behavior where we try to dominate and control other people to do things. Corporations, government has been doing it. And then, we do that with each other because there's some value there. There's something that they got that we want.
But it's in everything. All the people who were the movie stars and now all the villains. There's no protection after you're not useful anymore. Or, you live long enough, I can just get your image. I don't need you. There's no protection in compliance. There is no protection. You'd be better off taking the hit. There's saying yes is not protection. It's like when we clear properties and I see a ghost, hiding in the corner because it's in the unseen world, it's dangerous too. And so they're in the corner hiding.
Scared to...
I'm like, look.
This is wild in these energetic streets.
Yeah, like, look, I can take you to a place where you'll be protected, or you could stay here for another 100 years. What do you want to do?
Like, well, damn. I don't know you, lady, but you got the light. I'll leave with you.
Yes, and so it's not any different because there is no difference as long as you think the same thing in any dimension or any parallel reality or any multidimensional experience. It is all the same. You are a victim. You're a victim everywhere. If you are determined and clear and enough in the truth that you can keep yourself the truth, and love will keep you safe. If you love yourself enough and you're enough of the truth, you're going to be safe.
I love hearing this because it directly speaks back to the card or what it was saying in the book. Where you are, where you find yourself is vibrational.
Yes.
It's not geographical. It's not alive or dead. It's a vibratory thing.
You take your weak vibration into another dimension called death. You a weak vibration in the death dimension. You strengthen yourself wherever you are because right now it's all you got. So it's very true, and we know that because of the work we do.
Yeah, that your loved ones don't get smarter or their consciousness don't expand. They're still the same. They're still the same. All right, we got a couple of more comments here. Let's see. Oh, there's a lot of comments. You all are fired up. Gina says, since calling for the truth, I have come to the realization that I grew up in a very conditioned home, family, and I am breaking free finally with the help of your knowledge and teachings.
Yay!
Stay free. Stay free, my friends.
Yeah.
Stacy OTS says their certificates are bondage, birth, marriage, teachings, etc. It's a way to introduce the government where they do not belong. a way to be managed and handled. That's right. Romansky Productions says, I see ear in, I think here, in focusing in the silent rules of patriarchy, seduction. Focus on your truth of light and brings others forward and create a field.
I love that language of seduction. Like we're seduced into thinking how wonderful it is to have the wedding dress, how great it is that our friends will see us on social media, how great it is we'll have pictures forever. We're not even thinking about what's going on. But how are you being honored? Are you being supported? Is someone remembering to remind you how much they love you? That's what matters. But the seduction is like, I'll be on TikTok, in my wedding dress. I'll be looking beautiful. That's the seduction.
Look, the seduction is like soda pop that's been left on the counter for a few hours with no cap. It's flat.
Sweet syrup.
Sweet syrup that's flat. It's not even bubbly or effervescent anymore. It's it's funny because I can see more people seeing that, damn, like we've been participating in something that's just not really giving back what we thought.
It's not even just that. It's the house and the mortgage and the repairs and the workmen, and nobody will come to the house for less than $150. And then you don't know what you're going to charge you. It'll be $1,200 to unclog the sink, and the roof needs to be done.
True story. Like facts. I got receipts.
This is what you're supposed to want. Like that.
That does not sound seductive to me.
But it is seductive. She's using the right language.
Yeah, it's
is. Very seductive.
What she's saying, but like...
It's like President Truman, everybody will have a house and a chicken in every pot.
Look.
We don't even want the chicken in the pot.
Look, there's people who I've been seeing videos of people saying, I've paid my taxes. I've sent my children to school. We finished college. We did all the right things, but it's not paying off. Like what people thought that they were getting from things, whether it's marriage or allegiance to the government and other institutions.
You get waiting for that gold watch. That's what they told you. They didn't lie to you. It's not gold anymore, but
it's plated.
A gold-plated watch. They never promised you a rose garden. They promised you a watch. And now you got it, and you're like, but I was seduced into thinking that I could work these 2 jobs, my wife would work 2 jobs, and we would do all these things and, bring forth our children, and now the children are trying to live with you because the world is such the children can't live alone. It's too expensive. So the reality is, when are we going to divorce that? When are we going to let go of that?
That's right.
Ooh, this don't feel good. This don't feel like love.
No, but we over here like, I don't want to leave yet because all my CDs and DVDs are still here. I don't want to let go.
That's what Juliana's telling us. She's like, you're seduced. She's right. It's a seduction. It's like, my voice is soft and luring. Buy a house, get married, have children. It's very seductive, but it is not the truth. It is true for those who understand what it is and would like to do that, and more power to you. But it is not what you think it is. It's not the Cinderella story. And even that story had the stepmother.
Yeah, see, it was suffering all up in that story. This is what I mean. These shows and movies have damaged us until we have to decondition. Bioorganic says, homeschooling is one of the best decisions we ever made with our 5 kids. That's right, Bioorganic. Yep. Teach them well. It seems to be the new wave.
Well, it is, but I was on the early end of that, and it was you were thought of as being crazy or
very fringe,
very fringe, and what kind of people are you, and what are you doing, and
wild.
Yeah.
Feral people.
Like you got feral children, which was not the case. They were quite in order, as a matter of fact, way better order. So it's interesting.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, and we're seeing what's, I saw school lunches. It's sad. It's depressing what they're doing. The children are making funny TikTok videos of it at school, but I think the
It was
parents are being
terrible
dissatisfied.
40 years ago. I was packing lunches 40 years ago. And they were like begging, can we eat the pizza on Friday? I'm like, I was putting notes in their lunch pack. Aren't you happy mommy made you?
Right.
Because they would tell me what the other children were eating. I'm like, oh, no, don't eat that.
The combinations, though. How you giving us chocolate milk and pizza? How are you giving us?
Even then,
what?
they were saying that the ketchup pack for the French fries was the tomato. I was like, oh no.
You got your vegetable.
Homeschooling. We will be homeschooling. Ketchup is not the vegetable.
It's horrible. All right, Bioorganic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stephanie sings still. It's like, damn, they did that. The tomato and we're gonna check off tomatoes and vegetables. Of course they do something like that. Stephanie Singletary, she says, if they knew they were slaves, I could have freed more. Harriet Tubman. I know that's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's so the essence of what we're saying. If you knew that you were enslaved and seduced, I love that, Juliana, and seduced by this fictional aspect that doesn't factually play out, but that is in your mind as a cartoon. If you knew that enslaved you, and that all of the moves you've made with all of the partners you have been in relationship to your delusion about what that is. It's your factual experience with your mother, your father, your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your community show you the reality, but you ignore that and default to the seduction of Disney. Oh, I know.
I hear no evil, see no evil. I'm like, la, 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 la. Look, some of us are Harriet. Some of us are Harriet, and back to the conversation earlier, it's not the time to be trying to convert or convince people to get off the plantation.
Harriet wasn't. She said, if they had known, I would have got them up. But they didn't know, I left them there.
It's just like, we ain't got time for them.
Like, I'm in the field singing the song, y'all don't come. That's what she would do. She would stand at the edge of the slave plantation singing a song.
Follow the drinking gourd.
And they would either have their sticks and their little rags, and they would follow her, or they would keep in the field, and so be it. So that is the experience, and many of us are probably the children of the ones who stayed in the field.
Right. Yeah. Still waiting on corporation, big daddy government.
Thank
Uncle
you,
Sam.
Stephanie Harriet
That's right.
Tubman.
Stephanie Harriet Tubman.
That's the truth.
I bet she wearing that too. She's like,
that's
right,
the
Lawrence. That's who I am. All right, we have the
Start
charm.
singing that song, Stephanie.
Follow the drinking gourd. Why do I know that? Apparently I've been learning something. The Charm Exempt says, until we can get produce, everything we use, we're always going to be a slave to something. Cars, clothes, food we're not growing, phone chargers. I know that's right. Where my lightning cable at? In this world, it's so hard unless we just disappear. And then they further say, what's y'all's solution? And I never correct the name pronunciation, but it's the Charm Experiment. Oh, thank you.
Well, let me answer that, is that you don't have to invent the next phone. You don't have to invent the next internet where we're not going to be monitored. You don't have to grow all your food. You have to know people who know people. You got to know the people who grow the blue potatoes. and they got to know the people who have the peach orchard, and they got to know the people, and all of you all get together once every couple of weeks, and you trade whatever you do have. If you don't know how to knit, maybe you learn how to knit and trade blankets. Maybe you take care of bees and trade honey. We have people with us who do that, who trade for venison with their honey, who do different things. I lived in a circumstance where there were things that were done by trade. I am very much in favor of that. There will be no money for short periods of time. And having those relationships is what your currency is. The currency is in what can you offer. You don't have to offer everything, but you need to do something. You need to find something that other people want. You know, you need to make a product or grow a thing, or maybe you can just grow basil and then everybody can buy their basil from you and everybody can have pesto, and then they will give you their honey and their venison for the pesto. I have seen people make thousands of dollars selling things at the farmer's market like guacamole, like pesto, horseradish. Find something you're willing to do and then put yourself in a community where you can be a value add. And then you will have resources. The whole idea is you're not to do this alone. But you don't have to marry everybody, and you don't have to have all the children to do it. You can just find the community.
It's that polyamorous people out here.
Yeah, you don't have to
raise your consciousness.
Yeah,
for
you don't have to marry your workforce or produce them physically, really.
Right.
That's an older idea.
I want to build on that. What I have also found, because I totally feel where Charm Experiment is coming from. Thank you for the correction. Detaching more and more from the dependency as much as we can with what's within reason, you know, and stretching oneself to do so in areas where oftentimes, like, we know it's best to, you know, let me refrain from this and make those decisions to shop with, again, people who are like-minded versus, you know, doing the easy, convenient thing. I think within those areas, it matters more than what we can see if more people were engaged in that way. It's just, I think, sometimes like the micro actions are out of sight and out of mind, where we don't see how they add up in the larger scheme of things with the collective.
It's true. I think what you say is very accurate, and I think people can do things that are useful that they would like to do, that will give value and that will resonate with the frequency of love and support because they love it and they want to support themselves. Yeah.
You know, I like how you said value, like to see the value in the thing that you're doing.
Yes.
You know, because
yes.
it's this circumstance that we're in, it seems so overwhelming.
Yes.
It seems so big, and the guidance has always prompted, focus on what's in front of you.
Yeah.
And what's in front of you, as we address this, it ripples to address this as we all continue to address what's in front of us.
There are people in Africa making things that don't need electricity to work. Lights coming on, internet working, all kinds of things. Just let this run its course. The first time we don't have something, the inventions are already there. They just don't want to be assassinated. They're already there. People have already got zero-point energy. There's already hydrogen cells. There's already all kinds of technology that hasn't been loosened because they don't need it right now.
Yeah, they trying hard.
Let us take its course to the point where we don't have electricity for a minute and see what happens. See how fast we get electricity. See how fast we get a new internet. See how fast we get a way to communicate. See if you don't become telepathic. You just wait. I'm like, allow the experience. Know that this is not being done to us. It's being done for us. This world is deconstructing so we can have a new world, not to kill us. It is not Creator's will to kill us. It's man's will to kill us, you know. So this is being done for us so that we can build a new world with new ideas and less delusion and seduction towards what is not for us. I love your sentiment of, you know, gathering together the things that are needed, but you are the solution. The solution is you become dissatisfied enough to drop one thing. Stop eating chips. Stop buying pop. You drop whatever you could drop and see if those companies don't drop. They're dropping dead around us. Have you been in Target lately? You know, like things are deconstructing and in large quantities right before our eyes because people are of the same mind that you are. Like they don't want to support it anymore. I was in Target looking for a jar of mustard and I couldn't, they had like 25 jars of mustard, different brands. I couldn't find one that didn't have poison in it. And I had to spend 20 minutes reading all the labels. I'm like, I can't buy this. Oh, I can't buy that either. Oh, I can't buy, I can't, is there any other mustard? Like, you know, I'm looking all over. And the whole 25 minutes, nobody else was on the aisle. I'm like, other people have discovered they don't have food in there that supports life. I'm life. I need my food to support that. If it doesn't support that, I have to leave it on the shelf. You have compelled me to not buy from you. I'm not making a statement, I'm saving my life. Look at that. Look at that point of view. Like, I'm not making a political statement, I'm staying alive. I have survived Target.
I'm gonna get you a t-shirt. I survived Target.
So I went off the trail a
No,
little
no,
bit.
it's real. You know, it's got me thinking about how we've made condiments and things of that nature where it's life has put us in the position where learning these things, it is greatly satisfying.
Well, I have made my own mustard, and who
Yeah.
knows? You might find me at a farmer's market
And
selling
labeled it too. You know?
So, there are things that you can do that you don't think you can do. There are people you can meet that you don't know that you need to meet that can satisfy your needs. It is not, you know, if you go on a plane to 15 cities, every single one will have a Marshall's, every single one will have a Costco's, every single one will have a Walmart, there are only a few ideas that are being supported by the authority that supports and governs the herders. There are no individual, well-ran, unique situations. There are all these massive corporate entities, all the grocery store channel. So that lets you know that other people are doing other things, especially as they decompose. So it's important to know there's only a few ideas out there. It's like Batman, you know, what is it, Batman 37 now?
It's a lot of them.
Or,
It's a lot.
you know,
They got different Batmans in different universes now. It's
so
running
but
out
it's
of
the
ideas.
idea that there's only a handful of ideas that are being supported. No one else is being supported. You have a great idea, you want to do something, you're not going to get corporate support. It would be better to consider, let me take this to people who need it and let me work with that. Let me survive that way. And then in the new world, it may be that the thing you have, if it's not contaminated, it may rise to the top. So there is that idea. I know I've gone on about.
Yeah, well, again, this concluding with the card maxim: to know where you want to be, you need to know the truth of where you are now. And where are we in relation to that? What are we doing? What actions are available to us to take? Because, yeah, resources are required. But I like what you said. We're not designed to do it alone. So I think in some cases we have to call it forth, like move ourselves out. You know, one of the things that I've seen that has happened with us is that we've been taught to be in such deep doubt and disbelief, to where like we don't even position ourselves to attract the people who otherwise would be of support, because you know our sight as humans are just so focused on the distraction from the grand opportunity that's available to us. And I think that's something that's so important to keep ourselves in check with. So, because again, we're the prize. It's our minds and our imagination that's being used to create this thing. And we have to take it back through allowing ourselves the freedom to visualize something different, to think a new thought, to think of a new possibility other than whatever this is in front of us, because that's how it's gotten us into the circumstance.
I keep thinking, I know we need to end,
Yeah, I know.
but
Yeah.
I keep thinking, what happens when you have a baby in a high chair and the baby's like, I don't want those peas, I'm not going to eat those no more. You go find something else. We don't have to eat the peas. Something else will be presented. We may present it ourselves. It's not any different. If we reject it, something else will be presented.
That's right.
If we keep eating it, we can keep expecting to eat it.
So real.
You know.
So real. Yeah, I better start fasting. Better start fasting. Like on every level, you know what I mean?
Yes. So
Not
are
for
we
real,
done
though.
with
Start
our
fasting.
comments for tonight?
All right. Pretty much. Well, hold on. Stephanie says, low. Charm Experiment says, where the people at? Lol, I've been trying to find them.
You found us.
Then, to fill a resource, it takes money. And when you're not trying to work in a field that's not purposeful but need money, you're in a battle. Can't wait for that day. This is exactly what I was talking about, Charm Experiment. We got to freaking use our minds to bring something else in. Because some of this is the truth of what is, but
Not everybody is meant to be an inventor. Some people are meant to support. So find your place in it and start calling for the truth of that experience. That's what Of the Sun is. We're building a community. We want to have physical, mental, spiritual, all kinds of places. So we're moving towards that eventuality. This is one step forward. Not so much for mankind, but yeah.
I get that. You know, they say they went to the moon on April Fool's Day.
Of course they did.
I don't want to keep this dialogue going. I know I'm being silly, but we've went a little longer than usual, an hour and a half long instead
So
of an hour.
we will tidy up so you all can get back to the things that you all are doing.
Apparently they're sticking it out. They're here. They're like,
Well, we thank you for joining us today. We know we kept you a little longer. We hope you find it valuable. And we look forward to seeing you next week in Lacash Veritas with honor, respect, gratitude, integrity, discipline,